What the hell is it going to take to realize what we're up against here? Long-range, intercontinental, ballistic missiles with nuclear warheads are for you and me and your children and your grandchildren. That's what it is.
Breaking news. I don't know when you guys are going to see this, but it seems that Iran is about to strike America in the Middle East, and Israel might even be preparing to take out Iranian nukes, the nuclear program, and target them. Mark Levin, actually, I wanted to bring you this video. He gave an unbelievable monologue explaining exactly why Israel and America need to take out Iran right now. I'm going to show you this as well as some news updates on what exactly is going on.
Consider what I'm about to say the most important opening statement that I've ever given on Fox or probably anywhere else. And I've been doing this a long time. And there's no question there will be a cabal out there for which what I say will be viewed as terrible. And I will come under withering attack. There's nothing new about that. But I've always felt that whether it's here or on radio or elsewhere, that my relationship is with you. Not the think tanks, not the Washington insiders, not the reprobates and others who have access to a keyboard and a computer. This is very important, what's taking place now. This is a headline in the New York Times. Iran has ramped up uranium enrichment while continuing nuclear talks. Tehran now has the capacity to produce bomb-grade fuel for roughly 10 weapons, according to a confidential UN report. So for all intents and purposes, Iran now has a nuclear weapon. We've been negotiating for, 5 weeks? We had the Obama deal. We had the Biden deal. We gave them $1 billion under the last administration, which, of course, they used to build up their nuclear program. We've been warned about this. We've been warned about it from the Prime Minister of Israel. We've been warned about it from me over and over again. And now we're here. We're at the precipice. And the article goes on. Iran has roughly doubled its stockpile of nuclear bomb-grade uranium over the past 3 months, even while negotiating with the Trump administration over a deal to limit its nuclear program. According to a confidential report about the United Nations Nuclear Inspection Agency, has begun circulating to capitals around the world. Now, the UN isn't exactly pro-American or pro-Israel, but they are very, very concerned about what they're seeing, and they should be. The increase gives Tehran the capacity to produce bomb-grade fuel for roughly 10 weapons, up from around 5 or 6 when President Trump was inaugurated in January. But the surge also puts new pressure on Washington in its negotiations, in which it is demanding that Iran cease all production of nuclear material. Now, the Director General of the IAEA, that is the unit within the UN, is responsible for this. His name is Rafael Grossi. Now, Grossi wrote that the significantly increased production and accumulation of highly enriched uranium by Iran, the only non-nuclear weapon state to produce such nuclear material, is of serious concern. You don't need this material for domestic energy consumption. Then we have this from Fox News. Explosive new intelligence report reveals Iran's nuclear weapons program is still active. A new intelligence report claims Iran is continuing with its active nuclear weapons program, which it says can be used to launch missiles over long distance. The startling intelligence gathering of Austrian officials contradicts the assessment of the U.S. Office of the Director of National Intelligence. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard told a Senate Intelligence Committee in March that the American intelligence community, quote, continues to assess that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon, and the Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has not authorized the nuclear weapons program he suspended in 2003. Well,
just want to interrupt here. There's news right now that Trump and Iran are done negotiating. It's over. I told you this earlier that there seems to be very credible evidence that there's going to be a strike on Iran. America is moving its embassies and its people out of the Middle East right now, seemingly. This is big news right now. I'm going to continue with the video, and I'll bring you anything else that happens.
Apparently, she's dead wrong. Austria's version of the FBI, the Directorate of State Protection and Intelligence Service, wrote Monday in an intelligence report, quote, In order to assert and enforce its regional political power ambitions, the Islamic Republic of Iran is striving for comprehensive rearmament with nuclear weapons to make the regime immune to attack and to expand and consolidate its dominance in the Middle East and beyond. The Austrian Domestic Intelligence Agency reported the Iranian nuclear weapons development program is well advanced, and Iran possesses a growing arsenal of ballistic missiles capable of delivering nuclear warheads over long distances, like to the United States. According to an intelligence document obtained and reviewed by Fox News Digital, Iran has developed sophisticated sanctions evasion networks, which has benefited Russia. The Times of Israel, Vienna, Iran carried out secret nuclear activities with material not declared to the UN nuclear watchdog at 3 locations that have long been under investigation, the watchdog said in a wide-ranging confidential report to member states seen by Reuters. The findings in the Comprehensive International Atomic Energy Agency report requested by the agency's 35-nation Board of Governors in November paved the way for a push by the United States, Britain, France, and Germany for the board to declare Iran proliferation obligations. I don't really think Iran cares if we make declarations, do you? Tehran, which openly seeks Israel's destruction, claims it wants to master nuclear technology for peaceful purposes and has long denied accusations by Western powers that it is seeking to develop nuclear weapons. But it has been enriching increasing quantities of uranium to levels that can only be used for nuclear weaponry. Oh, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't want to see. I don't want to see. This seems to be the attitude of many. We have a movement in this country akin to the America First movement in the late 1930s, 1940, that was led by Charles Lindbergh. Japan and Tojo were on the move, as Mussolini in Italy was on the move, as the Third Reich was rising up. They kept telling the Americans, look, there's nothing we can do about this. It's far away. It's really none of our business. To the extent we can be involved in diplomacy, that's okay. But we don't want all these bombs falling, and we certainly don't want to get involved. And this is the aftermath of World War II, where most of the nations said, we don't want to get involved in any more of these wars. The America First organization, as AP U.S. history points out, was founded in 1940, became one of the largest anti-interventionist movements in the U.S. during the lead up to World War II. Critics of America First accused it of harboring anti-Semitic and pro-fascist sentiments, especially due to some members' controversial statements and affiliations. Gee, doesn't that sound familiar today? In fact, doesn't this whole damn thing sound familiar? Now, as of right now, while you're watching this, Sunday evening, Sunday night in some parts of the country, the Iranians now have not the capacity for the nuclear weapon, but in effect, a nuclear weapon. Now, what are we going to do about it? And so there's been a movement in the isolationist movement. There's been a movement in the America Last movement, which is, it's manageable. We can manage this. It's not manageable. My first guest is going to be Zuhdi Jasser. In the West, we don't seem to understand the mindset of the Islamist terrorist Nazis. I don't know why. It's available. They publish it. They get day in and day out. They've written books about it. I don't know why the media in America doesn't dig into those books and explain what we're up against. But I have, and I've explained it. It's a totally different ideology. Now, I said here about a month ago, even with communists and fascists, mutual assured destruction means something. But with Islamist Nazi terrorists, it means nothing. Nothing. They're willing to kill themselves for a greater cause. And in fact, as long as the West exists, whether it's the Jews in Israel, or the Christians in the Middle East, or the entire West, Christian majority, America or Europe, as long as we exist, and that includes Muslims who don't buy in to the terrorist ideology, as long as they exist, well, then they can never go to heaven. They can never achieve what God wants them to achieve. And so they're not going to stop. They're not going to allow a piece of paper to stop them. And they are suicidal. It is a death cult. Mutual assured destruction doesn't work. This would be the first regime, a terrorist, Islamist, fundamentalist regime with a nuclear weapon. Now, is this we want to see on our watch? Meaning our generation? Do we really care what the reprobates and the little cabal say from the Quincy Institute, founded by Soros and Koch and other extremists? Do we really care what they have to say? Or are we going to use our own brains? Look at history. History, we don't even have to go past 9/11 and see what took place. Listen to what they say. Read what they say. We want to avoid war. We want to avoid casualties. We want to avoid dropping bombs, but they don't. They don't. Neither do their communist Chinese supporters who are building up a military to destroy us. Neither does the inbred in North Korea, whose father signed agreement after agreement after agreement, just like the Islamic Nazis in Tehran have, say swear off nuclear weapons. We just need energy here. That's all. We gave them money too, just like we gave the Iranians. We signed documents with them too, so forth and so. What the hell is it going to take to realize what we're up against here? This country should be united in its own defense. Nobody's dragging us into anything. It's not the Jews. It's not Israel again. No. Long-range, intercontinental, ballistic missiles with nuclear warheads are for you and me and your children and your grandchildren. That's what it is. And if they get them, they will use them in due course, if not sooner. They will change the entire Middle East. And you'll say, who cares? Yeah, who cares? Who cares about that? Who cares about Europe? Who cares about anything, right? Wrong. One day we'll turn around and we don't have any allies. And the enemy will be lined up. You know, they're in our hemisphere. They're in Central and South America. Oh, yes, they are. They're in the Arctic Circle, which is why the president talks about Greenland. They have a West Africa base to the communist Chinese now. They have a base in the Solomon Islands now. What do you think they're doing? You think they're going fishing? The good news is Donald Trump is not one of these people. He's not an isolalist. He's bombed Yemen. He's taken out Soleimani and Baghdadi. He does what he needs to do. But this is a force that continues to try and pressure him, pressure congressional Republicans, pressure people like me, keep our mouths shut. Never. Never.
Wow. I mean, I told you it was powerful. It was just unbelievable. Mark Levin, like you've never seen him. And Hegseth repeated this sentiment. He said very simply, Iran, if they get a nuke, will use it.
They had a nuclear weapon. Would they use it against Israel? In your professional military judgment.
Sir, I think they'd use it to pressure Israel. I don't know whether they would use it.
Well, is it 50-50, 60-40, 70-10? What is
Sir,
it?
I don't know what the percentage is.
Well, you can't be wrong, can you? What does Israel think?
Sir, I think they think they would potentially.
What do you
use it.
think, Ms. Secretary? If they had a nuclear weapon, would they use it to wipe out Israel?
I think Israel believes, quite understandably,
Do you believe that?
that it is an existential
Do
threat
you
to their
believe
existence.
that?
Hold on, and in the hands of the wrong Iranian, a cleric or a radical, that they would seek to
Well,
use
is this a radical cleric that exists there today?
Well, as of
If
right
he's
now,
not,
yes.
who the hell would be? So I'm trying to get everybody to think, let's don't do what we did in the 30s. They're going to use a nuclear weapon if they get it. Are they trying to build a nuclear weapon versus a peaceful nuclear power program, Mr. Secretary? Have the Iranians been trying to build a nuke?
There are plenty of indications that they have been moving their way towards something that would look a lot like a nuclear weapon.
Does China intend to take Taiwan by force if necessary?
We don't believe they've made that decision yet, but certainly if you look at their exercises that they're performing in that area, they
What do
look
you
a lot
think,
like
General
what that would
Kane?
look
Do you
like.
think China is intent on taking Taiwan?
Sir, I think it, not to split hairs, but I think it depends on what you define take. I think if.
I mean, like, take it over.
I think if they could get them their way, for sure. Do I think they're going to use military capability? Maybe, maybe not. Do we need to be prepared for that? Yes.
Yeah, and there's a great line: prepare for war, and you'll probably never have to fight one. So don't prepare for peace. Prepare for war, and you'll fight way less wars in that manner. One more clip I want to show you of Ambassador Huckabee, and then I'll wrap it up with a little bit of an update of what exactly is going on with Iran. Because right now, shit is unfolding in the Middle East like we've never seen before.
To strike, do you think it's possible to strike a deal with the Islamic Republic of Iran?
Well, I'm not sure that it would be, because for 46 years they've said the same thing. They wanted to kill Israel and annihilate it. Then they wanted to come and murder everybody in the United States. That's not a message they just came up with recently. They've said it for 46 years. They've said it without interruption. They say it every week. Israel is the appetizer. The U.S. is the entree. When I hear people in America say, we don't have anything to do with the whole Iranian-Israeli thing, that's no concern to us. Are they deaf, dumb, and blind? Are they not listening for 46 years to what the Ayatollahs have said? When somebody tells you over and over and over and over again they're going to kill you, it might be wise to pay attention to them and start believing them. And Iran has never said anything other than they want to get rid of the little Satan, then they want to come after the great Satan, which is the United States. So when people act like that isolationism is a legitimate doctrine of foreign policy, I would say to them, look, there's nobody more MAGA than me. In fact, to go back and listen to some of the things I said in my 2008 presidential campaign, I was MAGA before MAGA was cool. But here's the difference. Being America first shouldn't mean America only. We live in a very real world. Relationships that we have with other countries doesn't mean that we're going to fight their wars. It doesn't mean we're going to put our men and women in boots and send them to do their bidding. Israel has never, now a lot of Americans don't know this, they have never, not one time since the Reconstitution in 1948, have they ever asked for or received American boots on the ground to fight their wars. They fight their own wars, and they do it pretty sacrificially. Every single 18-year-old male and female goes into the military, 3 years for the men, 2 years for the women. They serve in the reserves until their 40s. And even after their 40s, they may be recalled, as some of them have, back into the reserves, going into Gaza, going to the Lebanon border. Mm-hmm. These are people who defend themselves, and they've never asked us to fight their wars for them. So anyone who says that is either ignorant or they're not honest.
Yeah, so that's Ambassador Huckabee. And the latest news from the Middle East is that the U.S. is evacuating all non-essential personnel ahead of a possibly imminent attack on Iranian nuclear facilities. And that's from a real source, Reuters. Reuters reported that. This is, we'll have to see what happens, but it does seem that, it escalated, and Iran said they don't want a deal. And it seems that Israel and the U.S. are attacking Iran, or the other way around, or both. We'll have to see in the coming days. We'll keep you updated. Thank you for watching this video. To support the channel, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/JewishUncensored and join the channel memberships for exclusive content. Thank you for watching again, and have a good one.